Hey guys, it's Jennifer and I have a fun video for you guys. I always say that, but I think it's fun. Hopefully you think it's fun. But we are going to be looking at another Dior Backstage palette deep dive. I can't believe I said that without messing that up. All right, let's get right into it. All right, so I have gotten quite a lot of positive feedback on my other Dior Universal, what is this called? Backstage Glow Face palette that I did, looking at how you can use those products on very fair skin. So I recently got another one at Christmas, and this is the 002Glitz, and I thought we would do the same thing because I felt like that was really helpful based on the feedback I've gotten, so I thought this might be helpful as well. Now this one I have not had as long. I have played with a bit, but it is still kind of new to me. So I'm just going to come in so you can see. I'm actually going to turn these lights off to see if you can get a feel for the tones here. I know those lights are really bright, but you've got this peach, this brown. The peach is called, by the way, peach. The brown is called bronze. Then you have a glitter strobe gold and a glitter strobe pink gold. So I am going to, I've got a little boo-boo, so ignore the Band-Aid, but I'm going to go ahead and do some swatching of these for you. So, okay. All right. So we've got the bronze and the peach here. I think those two are showing up pretty good. And then we've got the two highlighters. So honestly, you can already see, I think, that these do work quite well for fair skin. I was afraid that they might be a bit too deep, but I think they work pretty well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take these off. Probably going to have our little red marks. But I'm going to do the same thing I did in the other video, which is go in here with this bronzer, use the peach as blush, and we'll just see like what it looks like. I have nowhere that I have to be after this, so hopefully it's okay if it looks crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and dip into bronze with a Refer 05. Now this bronze, unlike the other bronze, is a lot warmer. The other bronze is more cool toned. This one is definitely a warmer bronze. So once again, just like I discussed in my other video, if you do not like sparkly bronzer and you don't want a bit of a shimmer, this probably will not be for you. But as I said in the other video, this formula is really unique in the fact that I think you can get away with a bit of the shimmer because it does sheer out in a really nice way. That is still true of this formula, which of this palette. I'm all over the place. Of this palette because I find the formula to be the same or as comparable to the other palette. But this one you can see there's definitely a bit of a glow. So, all right, let me just blend this in just a bit more. Stop talking so much. All right, so you can definitely see that we do have a bit of a glow, but also I think you can appreciate that it's not super shimmery or glittery or anything like that. It's got a nice glow. Now, I do have some concealer under my eyes and a couple of places just like around my nose and my chin. And I do have some eyebrows filled in, although not to perfection because like I said, I have nowhere to go. So is it like just me, but like, are you motivated to do your brows as well when you know you aren't really going anywhere? Like even if I have to run to the grocery store or something, I'm like, let me just put in a little brow gel and fill them in the tiniest bit so it looks like I have some. But the perfection that I feel that I need when I go to work versus when I run errands is so different when it comes to my brows. It's insane how differently I feel about brows when the pressure of not being at work exists. All right, so I just really love the fact that this bronzer blends out so nicely. And I'm going to just do a little around the chin as well and around the jawline because I don't have any contour on, and then that way it just make it a bit more uniform. I really do love these palettes, and I really can see in the summertime just really loving a nice little glow. All right. So according to what I see, it is pretty well blended. See how like the light creates shadows when I go like this? The light kind of makes it look like it is not very blended right there, but in truth, it is. Blend this out a bit more. Honestly, like, this stuff blends so well. You really don't have to work that hard. my hair everywhere. I just pulled it back just so I could film this video, but it is going everywhere. All right, that's enough of that. Okay, so that's what it looks like on super fair skin using the color bronze in 002 as a bronzer. Let me grab a brush and we will see what this peach blush will look like. I have not tried this, so I do not know what this will be like. It's a blush. This one, again, is quite shimmery. So I'm going in there with a Farrah 30F. Farrah, is it Farrah or Farrah? I don't know. But I'm curious about this myself because I have not tried this. It is shimmery. It is definitely shimmery. I like the peach color. I think the peach is really, really cute. And I think it's really, really nice for summer. Let me turn down these lights just a little bit to see if that helps you see that peach color coming through. And actually, I think I would have gone a cooler setting. Let me see if I can get to natural daylight. There we go. I will leave it here as well. So yeah, I think it does add a nice little shimmer and a nice little peach color. Now I'm going to go back in and see if I can build it up to see if it'll add color to that. I'm going to leave this side a blank canvas for right now. Yeah, so as I suspected, while you can do this, I feel like this is more effective as a blush topper because that is a bit too much glow for my cheeks. And it doesn't really add that much color. So this is no blush. This is 2 layers of blush. And I mean, that is bright. So let me turn these lights back up because I think it'd be easier to see. It's not bad or anything, but that's a bit too much for me personally. And I don't think it added that much color payoff. And there is quite a bit of texture that is showing up right here that I don't love. I might even like put a blush on top of that to see how that looks, like layering a blush to try to tone down that shimmer just a bit. So I'm going to add just the 1 layer on this side so we can go back to 1 layer and see how that looks. I do think that this blush is better either as a topper or as a 1 layer blush if you use it as a blush. Yeah, I think this side looks a little bit crazy. That's my air conditioning kicking on, by the way. But I think this side looks a little bit less crazy than this side. I think a blush topper would be great. I think you can use it this way just to add a little color to your cheeks. It's really pretty. It has a really pretty like peachy glow. But I don't think you need to go crazy like this. All right, so then let's go in with a highlighter brush. This is a Wingoss F5. And I'm going to do a highlight on each side. So the first one I'm going to start with is the, what is this called? Pink Gold. I think this is very much a really nice champagne-y color. I hope we're going to be able to see it with all of this glow here going on. Yeah, this is just way too much. This is way too much, in my personal opinion. This blush is way too much. I don't even know that that is showing up because the blush is just so much. So let me show you this again with a really hard swatch so that you can get a feeling for this color payoff. It is very champagne-y and I think it's fine for fair skin. You can't really see the streak. I think it blends in really nicely. It's got just the tiniest bit of a peach coral undertone, so I really like it, but you cannot even see it because this side is gone way too glow. All right, let's go into the other side. Let me get my brush as clean as I can and go into the gold side. Hopefully that will show up since this one is a bit more toned down. Yeah, it definitely does. So this is the gold. I really like that a lot. I think that is such a pretty gold. And as you can see, there's no streaking, so I think it works really well. Let me go in with that champagne and just do it on the nose so we can see what that looks like there. Oh. Did I do a bit too much? Probably. A little bit too much on the nose. I don't want to highlight my nose that much. Oh my goodness, 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 goodness. Well, that is one with me now. But you can see the color payoff there and how different that is. Again, it's not too dark. So, who is this palette for? I think this palette is fun. I like the other one better, but I do like, you know, all of these colors can be used as a highlight except the bronze, and I think it's a nice bronze. So personally, I would probably use this peach as a topper or even a kind of wet looking highlight. I'm going to put that again here. It is a little bit deeper. So in the summertime, if you need a deeper highlight, like that might be a nice alternative. Or like I said, a blush topper. I feel like a blush on its own, to me, it's a little bit too much shimmer. If you go light, fair enough. But then it's just like, you know, do I have enough color to be considered a blush? I don't know. That is still, even with one layer, it's a bit too much for me. So let's look at it, try it as an eyeshadow. It might be a beautiful eyeshadow. Isn't it weird that as a fair person, this random peach is like the harder shade for me to use rather than the bronzer? Because usually that is not the case. But I just really think the bronzer shears out really well. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. So maybe this is a good place for you to pop this peach, is on the eyelid. Now I have no primer on. I have no concealer on my eyes. I have nothing. So keep that in mind. But that's pretty. And I'm putting this on very sloppily just to get it on for the sake of time. I'm going to turn these lights down again. That's beautiful. I think the bronzer is okay. In real life, it does not look as crazy as it's looking on camera. I think it is okay. I think it's pretty. I just think this blush, as a blush, or whatever it is, it just says peach. Is it a blush? Does it? It doesn't say blush. It just says peach, so I guess we don't know. But I think that's a bit too much. But in all, I think this side looks good. And I definitely think this is a vacation palette or a highlighter palette. So that is how I'm using it. I'm using these as highlights, and I do occasionally use this as a bronzer, but mainly summery vacation looks. I still think the other one is my favorite in comparison. This one isn't bad, but I do prefer the other one, I think. All right, guys, let me know in the comments below if this is helpful, what you think of this palette. Have you gotten any others? I was so tempted by the Christmas one, or the holiday one they released, and then I swatched it in a Sephora, and it just so was not doing it for me. So that is why I didn't get this one. And I had some points that I wanted to cash in, so I was like, let me grab this and see what I like. These are still my favorite highlighters. So even though I'm saying I wouldn't necessarily use this as a peach or whatever, and I'm just using it as a blush, I am just using these as highlighters. It's still my favorites. Between this palette and that palette, these are my favorite highlighters. My favorite, hands down, the formula that I'm enjoying the most right now. All right, guys, that's it for me, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!